Thank you so much for your kindly welcome, for your time. I'm really happy to sit here near you, in your space, in your woman magical.
My woman's home. So happy to have you, Anna.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And my first question, first time I saw you maybe 1 year ago, and you was like shining, like I never knew about you anything, and just like seeing you, and everybody talk, this is Perukua, look, and I asked, I don't know, but you like shining. How you radiate this shining inside?
For me, it's about. I think when I was a younger woman, I let go of a lot of illusions about life, and had very strong teachers, very, very strong men, like really strong men. My first husband was my first teacher, Native American, Indian shaman. And he broke the illusion of the world for me. Something like what is happening today in the world. Now we start to understand not everything is what we thought it was. That there are powers and energies both on the earth, behind in other places, all playing here on the earth. So he broke my illusion. Now that was very, very painful. And I had to let that pain come in and meet it and understand, yes, I was asleep. I was asleep. So when I woke up, I felt this big need for really to find who I am. Like, I felt so disconnected. I lived in a big city in Australia, in Sydney. I was a jazz singer. I was becoming successful. But so masculine, so trying to be something in the world. And I was losing my nature, my more innocent nature, I think I've been so inspired by the spiritual world. I have an auntie, a crazy auntie, who is a psychic. And this part of the world woke up in me when I was 15. So by the time I was 23 and really deep in the jazz world, I understood I was losing myself. And I understood I was not happy. Because I was trying, every day trying to be beautiful, trying to be a great singer, trying to be seen, trying to be sexy, trying to be everything, And at this time in my life, I went to the greatest power that I know. For me, it's Mother Ocean. This feminine life power, like pure energy. I live in a country in Australia where there's just pure power all around. Like your Russian mountains or your Russian rivers, for us in Australia, it is ocean. Even Black Sea is nothing like the Australian ocean. It's full power, And I went to this power, this energy. I said, where have I gone wrong? And she helped me to wake up. It was like she broke the first illusion. Let go of trying to be everything. There's this enormous love for you. And you are so loved. And all of humanity is so loved. It was a direct experience. I won't tell you the story, but I understood that this love, it was for me. It's love for everybody. This love was what I was trying to sing. It was singing through me, if I could allow it and get rid of all my concepts, all my illusions, And when this energy started to wake up, I said, well, it's one thing to recognize this love, but how do I live as this? How can I know more about this? Not just taste it, Not like an ayahuasca trip or something, just taste it. It was like that. What I went through on the edge of the ocean, it was like an ayahuasca, but just straight from the mother source. And I said, please, how can I live as this? And within 2 weeks, she sent me this teacher to me. He was an older man, 50 years, my age now. He was shaman. He was a visionary, and a man of great knowledge and power. He was special forces trained. He was military trained. So he was also a warrior, a soldier. He had very bad habits. He smoked, he drank, he did everything, But what he did for me was he broke the illusion. And he loved me so much that he tore apart all this illusion inside of me. And it was so painful. And I had to keep going through the pain of that. It took a few years, you know. And I wanted to run away and find an easier path. I wanted to go back to the city. I wanted to go back to my music. I wanted to go back to where I felt safe, you know. But no, he kept tearing and breaking and opening me up. So that was once I start to understand that I'm part of this earth, that I'm part of this big web of life. And if I start to communicate with it, I start to sing to it, I start to breathe with it, I start to meditate with it, I start to say that this energy is actually entering right up through my body. So if we speak about radiance, that is the key. I learned over these few years and then many more years of practice how to actually drink this life force up through that feminine channel, through the yoni vagina, through the matka, through the womb, through the life channel, through the heart, breast, the throat, until this energy slowly cleaned me, slowly cleans me of my illusions, my hatred, my self-hate of my body. It cleaned out my selfishness and my trying to be something. It cleans out so much. And I would say it's not like you reach a point where you stop cleaning. As long as you are in the world today, because the world is a painful place the way it is, because it's so far right wing, so masculine, that just to be a woman in the world is a painful thing. So your practice, you know, my ability to take this life and fill myself up with this flow that rises from life, from the earth, from the life source, then this cleans me, and it does it regularly. Every day I do practice to just clean and open up my big woman nature. And that's how I keep my radiance. Yes, I get tired, especially when I'm working a lot or flying a lot, but I know how to take that energy through, because I broke the illusion, see.
Yes, and what is your practice every day? You say now that you do something.
Yes,
Maybe
every
you
day.
can share it, like small practice, 10 minutes, or how it's.
For me, my practice, I have different practices I do, and I recognize, because we have the body, I do physical practice for the body. And over the years, I developed a new practice. I love to dance. And I think women need to dance. If we don't dance, we get too perfect. We try to be too structured and, you know, too beautiful. But dance just lets this more chaotic nature come through. So I created a feminine dance practice, which opens up the body. And I do that. It takes about 15 minutes. And there's two dances I created. One is very physical because it opens up the shoulders, the breast, gets the spine rolling. And the second practice is called Let the Shakti In. And this is a dance that starts with the very root, and the energy comes up from the earth, and it opens and it dances and it nourishes and massages all the feminine centers. So it starts through the feet, the earth, it comes up through the inner thighs, to the yoni, and it nourishes the what do you call it in Russian? the ovaries. It nourishes the breasts. It opens the thymus gland, activates and the thyroid, all the hormonal centers. It releases the tension in the sides here, where all the glands are connected, and into the head, and massages the head. And it pulls all the stuck energy out of the head. So it's really a dance, but it's a nourishing practice. So that's one thing that I do. For strength, I'm a Pilates woman, really. I have a very challenging structure. For me, I will do some yoga postures mixed with my Pilates. For me, some of the stretches are very good in yoga. But I have one of those structures that doesn't like yoga. My body just, no matter what yoga I do, it just doesn't work for me. because I was born with a congenital hip condition where my hips were rolled in, and when I was 11 they did experimental surgery. So they basically cut my structure up. They cut my legs and turned them. So I have to be very careful, and I found that for me Pilates is one of the most powerful but gentle, because there's no pressure on the body, it's all on the floor, and that somehow worked for me. And then for my own, for the opening of the body, I work with the life channel. So I work first of all with cognizing my inner cosmos, and like if you rub your hands together now, try with me, it's very important that we come out of the frontal minds and deeper into the space inside, to the inner cosmos. And our eyes are the key. We're always thinking, looking, analyzing, criticizing with the eyes. The eyes need rest and they need to come home. So at the beginning of practice, it's very good to let the eyes come home, to breathe always down into the belly. And this is very important for us women, to let our belly expand, because we've been taught that we should be tight and in. This is wrong position for women. It should be able to expand and fully contract. Expand and fully contract, because if we don't have strong pelvic floor, if we don't have strong yoni muscles, all energy is going out. And so for me in practice, this is a key. We must have this strength to pull in, but likewise we need expansion, this big belly, to accept that you have this big feminine energy here. It's a physical energy, it's a spiritual energy, and it needs breath. Very important. So I stopped to practice, but I'm breathing down into the belly, and then I just simply put the hands on the eyes and drop the head into the palms, and let the jaw, the mouth relax, and then breathe into the eyes through the nose. And the mouth comes open and the sound is we can do it together. Do. Breathe out. Now, what do you see in there, Anna?
I see like a darkness or some light.
Mm-hmm.
And warm.
Mm-hmm. It's warm. Because our real nature, the big feminine nature, she's black. She's cosmic. And you can see there's a fabric like almost like a web, moving web of light, or maybe colors, in there. But if we relax the eye sockets back and down, you can see that this movement is happening in the blackness. And this blackness is home. Slowly lift the hands off the eyes. And keeping a connection to the sensation in your palms, you feel its heat. You feel heat in your eye. You just see the light start to flood back into the eye. This is a very important step in the practice of entering the body. Do your eyes feel different now?
Yes.
How do they feel?
Like more relaxed and I don't know. No pressure, no like look.
Yes. Yeah, they start to relax, open,
Yes.
and they start to see more actually.
Yeah.
So it's more fluid energy, and the eyes are very fluid. But when we focus with mind all the time, they get very tight and very analytical. So eyes love to be nourished back, and to come back into this blackness. Because when we're in blackness, we're home. And many practices forget that, because we're always looking to go up to the light. The light is where all the energy is, where realization is. But without coming into the darkness, into the blackness, the feminine cosmos we live in is black. She's not light. But lightness is all through her. this intelligent light of love. So fundamental to practice is that we recognize when we bring our body into practice, we must come into the polarity of the great she and the great he. The great he is the light, the great she is the blackness. But the world has come out of balance, and that's what I realized, that it focuses all in on him, his power, his light, his direction, his achievement, his success, his everything, purpose.
Yeah.
And women have become like that. That's why in our practice it's very important to come down. So I started with the eyes, but I actually go through a process where I relax throat, I relax the heart and get that open, I relax the belly, I relax the womb, I relax the yoni, the vagina, so it gets so open that the body becomes like liquid, like fluid, and then the body starts to get very big and come back into this big cosmic nature. So before I raise any energy in practice, I want to go dissolve first.
How to work after it? Because
by the end of practice, then I'll bring the energy back up. And this is a very light state, where the pineal, the third eye, the crown is getting very, very active. Now, for me, it's a bit hard to explain because my practice is unique and I use a lot of sound in the practice. Now, so women can find these practices on my website, on perukua.ru, and because I use a lot of soundscapes using the voice to tune the body, deep frequencies for the mind to go. So there's different sounds that I make for opening different centers. A lot of overtones, singing, and in different soundtracks I've created. And they literally physically activate the glands. And we are starting to now scientifically test that because people are getting healings in their organs and their centers are opening up and they're crossing from a state of mind into deep meditation in 15 minutes. And finally, we're starting to document that because it's very important because this is a feminine approach to practice and this has not been documented properly.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's exciting. We're kind of in the new transition of this energy. When I started my practice about 25 years ago, this knowledge was not in the world. Now women are practicing so much and I'm so happy about that. Yeah. But the science is not yet behind it.
Yes.
You know?
A lot of women said that what is this? It's crazy.
Yes.
I don't need it. I don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And just where is my scientist's improvement?
Right, because the mind has been so trained to analyze, to rationalize, to get the facts and figures that it really works, And so I'm really seeing the importance now of this scientific process. So I had a seminar last night and we had some scientists there who were starting the process.
I was online.
Online.
But I saw that you have people can scan aura and it's getting bigger after your practices.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And how to, because in our world a lot of women they are lonely. They don't have love and they work too much and how to don't feel this loneliness.
We all have to face loneliness. As man and woman, we all have this loneliness. Men feel it too. It's part of the illusion of the human condition that we have to acknowledge is here. It's not just an illusion, it's a direct feeling in the body. Because we know that we are going to die, We know it's inevitable, whether it's tomorrow, a month, or 50, 60, 70 years. So we can't say that that's not part of us. If we can really meet that energy and say, yes, it's here. Like when I met my first husband, I was so lonely. And I felt so misunderstood in the world. I didn't fit. And I just begged life, please send me my love who can see me, who can help me to open up my nature. I recognized this man was not the answer to my loneliness, that I wanted him to show me how to find my love. And I didn't fully understand what I was asking for, because when I asked for this love, I recognized it came from this feminine principle. And she, because she loves him, she sent a him to me, you know?
Yeah.
So I was a step back from most women who say, send me my man, send me my love. I was like saying to her, send me my love, like show me how to understand this energy, you know? So she sent me this man. And I think for women, we must practice with the focus of our love being at the core of our practice. You can work your body so hard in your yoga class or your, I don't know, qigong class, or you can be, try. But if love is not at the heart of your practice, you always feel like something's missing, you know?
Yeah.
So if you're going to practice anything, like bring this aspect of love. So you've got your doing time, strengthening time, and this surrender time. Because love needs opening. Love opens with surrender, with letting go of control. You can't have an orgasm trying to control it, right? It's like this. When I practice, we must learn how to open up and give ourselves to love. Again, I have a lot of practices on the site that help women exactly with this from many different angles. I have a course for women to call their true beloved into their life. And this is an important course because it cleans out the illusion of the ideal man, and it helps to clean out the past and really prepare the body of love so that she starts to love herself in a way that she would want to be loved by him. So she comes to her inner man first to call him. This is a key for women on their own. They must start to love themselves the way that they want to be loved by a man. So they have to come into this eternal masculine, this eternal man. And you could feel him when you were a little girl. It's that sense like somebody's watching you, you know? You play, you dance, or you dress. And it's like you could feel somebody watching you. You remember that sensation? And you think maybe he's a prince,
yes.
Maybe he's something. But he lives inside of you. That's why you can feel him. But nobody teaches you that. They always say he's outside, he's outside, he's outside.
Yeah.
But he's inside. So when you learn to nourish him and listen to him and let him fill up your breasts and fill up from inside in your practice, then you have this ability to call him into your life. And he'll be more true, he'll be more honest, more conscious. He will reflect more of your true nature. If you just focus on, I want the perfect man, he's going to be handsome, he's going to be rich, it's like you don't know what the real value is because you're thinking about him. But when your heart opens to this big love inside, then you see him in a totally different way. Oftentimes, love can come into our life, right? And we have an illusion that he should be this, this, and this, and we don't see him. We miss him because we judge him and say, oh, it doesn't fit, he's not this, he's not that, no, he can't be my man. But often when love really comes, he doesn't fit what you think he'll be at all, you know? So this is very important that when we are alone, that we start to nourish this love and learn. There's a practice I have, like this very sensitive practice. We did it last night in the seminar, to open up the heart. So that we start to understand this love, first of all, is my nature. This love, first of all, is inside. And I can open it in myself. Every day I can give myself to it. And the loneliness will come, again, when the heart is not open. It's okay. We can meet him, say it's okay. It's natural, you know.
The Perukua, and you know, in our life, do you believe that in our life we have like 3 different calling? Like before 30, you are searching, you're looking who are you. After 30 till 50, you like more, you understand who you are, and after you maybe like a drawing, paintings, or going to the ocean and doing nothing. And how to don't be afraid to change your previous work, and to understand I feel another.
Yeah.
I'm ready for another part of my life.
Yes. It's not so black and white. I think, as this. I think that is a flow of energy that you speak about, that many people go through. But what I start to see more and more on the planet is people waking up more quickly than this. This search for the self happens more quickly. And there's many people now who are in their 50s, right? And they're just waking up to this. So that's why I say it's not black and white. It's not just in your 30s you're searching. A lot of women I work with in their 50s, their 60s, and they say, oh my God, where have I been all my life? You know, I've missed this, and now they are opening to this, you know. But it's very important. I know for myself that I had to learn how to accept a new me a few times. And it was painful because I had to let the old me die. And she said inside, if this dies, I'll lose my friends, I'll lose my power, I'll lose everything I've studied for, you know. And it was very painful. And I would get very sick. At this time I got this, it happened 2 or 3 times in my life. I got very, very sick. It was a physical death. It was like my body was dying, my emotions were going crazy, and my mind was terrified. But I was blessed because somebody said to me, your identity is dying, let it go. I said, really? They said, yes, let it go. You must let it go or you will not make it through. So I did. I consciously let that go. So if you're experiencing that, it's important to recognize there is a time where you put all this energy into being this. And when we're younger, up until perhaps that 20s, 30s time, we're under big influence. Mama, papa, school, bosses, etc. We're under big influence and we're not ourselves, but we're looking. And then we look and we say, actually, I don't really love that thing I studied. I don't love that degree. I didn't ever use it. These values are not important. I've changed so much. And this is what travel often does for people. It starts to break the illusion of what was important. You know, if you go to that same job every day, the drama of that, the commitment to that, the energy exchange between you and your boss, you and your work, the people you work with, is a big energy exchange. And it all seems so important. Then you go away and you go, what was that? You know? That's the beauty of traveling somewhere outside of your normal life. We must travel, I think, to break the lock on the mind. And then when we're away from that, it doesn't mean you even have to go to Bali or India. They're wonderful places, yes, but it could be you go to powerful places in Russia like Elbrus, you know, or I don't know, to Krasnopolano or to Baikal or Kamchatka or somewhere magical, and it will start to make you look with new eyes at your life. So it's very important to grow, and then suddenly you become maybe mother. And your reality collapses completely. You know, everything you thought you were, it breaks open. And this is a big transition for women. Now that transition is not to do with 30, 50 or anything. Mother is a transitory state. It's the one that is changing your consciousness completely. More than any practice, actually. Mother will break the consciousness and wake it up more than any practice. So if we bring some new energy into our life, so we become mother, right? We get pregnant. Then we must do it consciously and say, I'm going through a big change, so I have to let go of my old life. I have to let go of my old body and understand that my body's going to look different. I have to let go of being that cool, young, edgy woman that could go out and do everything I want for myself whenever I want, you know, and accept that I'm now in the role of surrender to life. And that this love is going to be so big and challenge me so much, but I've got to give myself to it. So that's a process of acceptance, you know. And of course, I think for women, it's not age related. It has to do with our hormonal system. So when we are maybe 50 or 60, we stop bleeding. And this is again another big change in her body, you know. And it asks different things, different energy. I can't speak about that energy because I'm 50 and I'm still very much bleeding. So I haven't crossed that. And I never speak about things I haven't crossed myself. But I do know for women it's a big change. And if we don't accept that, then we can get stuck and say, oh, I've got to put, fillers in. I've got to do 100 yoga classes or I'll lose my body, or, I won't be desirable anymore, or, accepting this change. Because if we consciously move through that change, why do you not need to be desirable? You can be desirable. You can love your body. You can go through every change consciously or unconsciously. And the unconscious means there's a fight going on. That's what you have to recognize. If you're in a fight in your life, then you're not accepting the change.
Mm-hmm. Short, about this picture, I really want.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know how
to hold the picture.
Yeah. What is this picture? Because I see it's very interesting.
Yes, this picture is created by an Australian painter, a close friend of mine, Lucy Pierce. And this picture, you can see she is a baby and she's wrapped, right? She becomes a small girl and then she becomes a woman. And you can see as a woman, she is tied up. She's not free. She's so beautiful, look at her. But she's tied up. Why? Because she hasn't grieved her past. She hasn't let go and let the tears and the pain of her past come out of her body. So she holds it. And this hold is like a strapping, like a holding, like a binding. So even though she's here in a beautiful body, she is totally caught in the past. And her past infects her present. It holds her in the present, so she's not herself. So she needs to meet her past and break free of all the bondage.
Amazing. They say that with God you can do anything. Your possibilities is unlimited. How to pray, how to believe in God, and what is God for you?
I actually don't believe in God. For me, it's God's
energy.
Let me explain. For me, God's an institution that has been put into the mind and belief system of humanity, as an untruth of the masculine principle, and the masculine principle has been named God. But if we look in every culture, we'll see a different name and a different God. We'll see Allah, we'll see Shiva, we'll see different gods in the Russian, what's a Raduga? I can't remember the Russian one, but anyway, we'll see different representations of God. But rarely do we see representations of something that is unified and wholesome. And what I mean by that is he and she. This is what went out of balance on the planet maybe 300 years ago. When we took away this feminine principle and we said, she's evil, she's dangerous, she's a temptress, she will take away your power and all of this. When we took that feminine principle and the principle of the Earth Mother away from being wholesome in our body, in our relationship, in our caring for our planet, for our mother, in our gardening, in our value of her wisdom, then for me, the world went up. It's and the energy went up in the body as well. It went up into the mind. And it got replaced for the original masculine principle. The masculine principle is like this, like a crown overflowing, like the sun, this brilliant light of intelligent lovingness that wants to promote life. And when that principle comes and shines his love, the earth just goes, yes, I'm open. See, to me, that is not God. is not a named one. And that's what's so difficult for human beings, because we want to personify everything. We want to give it a name, we want to give it a history, and say this God, you know, the prophet for this God is this, and that's what makes that God real, you know. So for me, it's like we've created all these illusions on the planet, and that controls humanity. Because if I, as this God, have maybe, let's say, 1 billion followers, right? Then this energy gets this power. And we must not be naive and say these gods don't exist. They do. We live in a multifaceted world, and there have been many cycles on the earth. But if we look deeper than the God with that name and with that hierarchy, because there's always a hierarchy around the God, we go deeper, we say that God comes from the masculine principle. That God is a source energy of masculine principle. We can call it light, we can call it sun, we can call it however we want to call it. And then this feminine principle, we could say she's earth, but she's more than earth. Because where does the earth get her energy from, right? She gets it from the primordial mother, the cosmic mother. So when we bring these two energies together, this is union. This is he and she inside. And we are built the same way. We have a right, we have a left. We have a heart and a womb, you know, sun and the blackness of life, where life comes from. So for me, that is really, if you want to put a name of God, that's what it is. But see, I can't accept the name of God because it doesn't put the feminine principle in there. If you said God, Goddess, maybe you would get something closer. But these energies are not personified. They are principles that flow through all of existence. That to me is source, the unified source of the light, the darkness, form, formless. The two principles.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that every woman need to sing, need to vocal?
Absolutely. I mean, every woman talks a lot. We need to express, you know, it's our nature to express. But the thing we've forgotten, and I'm so happy to see it's still in the Russian culture, but we need to sing. Because when we sing, all our cells, all our energy centers, they start to vibrate, and it's a much higher energy than speaking. So if we don't sing, then we get, again, that the language gets us very in this loop. And it uses, of course it uses throat energy, but the throat is not open because it's full of concepts, full of limits and structure. But when we sing, it breaks apart all of the mental ideas. Of course, when we sing, we have to go through oh, I'm not a singer, I'm not good at singing. But that's why when I teach women to sing, I first say, we let the body sound. And she doesn't sound beautiful. The primal feminine vibration doesn't sound beautiful. Yeah. She's not beautiful. But she's essential. That's woman's nature. She is chaotic. She shakes the world around her. That's why I made her like, I'm just trying to control you and, you know, just try and keep you contained. And she's like, But that's just one of her frequencies, you know, but it is a root frequency. So singing is important to recognize that we have this primal power there, which women are so afraid of. But when they start to tune their voice and their body to this frequency, then they can start to lift into high frequencies as well, you know. And it just tunes you and makes you like, that's good.
What is your dream? You make a lot of courses, you met a million people, and what is your dream now, or maybe plans, or what you want to?
For me, this is a life path, so it doesn't just stop. It doesn't. I feel yet I still have not reached so many women. Honestly, I don't feel I've reached millions of women yet. And I think those millions of women need reaching.
Yes.
not to do my practice, nothing to do with me. It's so they can reclaim themselves and be reminded of what's in my body, that's what's in their body, because I've realized that source and that unity. And I have that dream to support women to open up and be happy and to be loving and in their love. So for me, it's a continuation. That is my dream. It's a life path. So for example, in concerts. And as you know from last night, my concerts and seminars really cross over because I use a lot of sound vibration to influence and to open up the body and the soul. So for now, for example, I need to spend more time online because that's what life demands right now, more online projects, because we can't travel so much. But you know, my dream really is to be able to have many people come into that field where they're coming into this deep attunement of their nature, from the earth to the sky, from the yoni to the soul, and recognize who they are, become happy, and to be able to love their men so much more, you know, and to be able to help their men so much more, because men need a lot of help on the planet. And so that's my dream, just to continue this work, to continue this. It's a big love, not a mission. It's just a big love. Missions are heavy.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Perukua. And maybe you can say something like short message.
Be yourself. Everybody else is taken. Be yourself. Listen to your heart. Anjamatka. Be yourself. Shine like the diamond you are. A beautiful, brilliant star. Be yourself. The greatest work of art.